Hello, hello, hello. I've been out for a bit. How's everybody doing? Can anybody hear me? Making sure mic check. Although I did check it beforehand. So how are you guys doing? Happy holidays. I can't wait for a Christmas vacation for me. Honestly, I really hope that everybody's having a great holidays, that everybody's going to be seeing friends if you're going to be seeing friends, or seeing family if you're going to be seeing family. I hope that everybody's going to have a really nice time, and that they can enjoy this little vacation, this little break that we're having. My family's going to be in town next week. We're going to be celebrating the holiday, so there's not going to be, don't expect any streams from me next week. If there ends up being a stream, you can always just, I'll notify it in the Discord, and you can always just check it there. I usually state there when I'm gonna go live. And if I do, it might be either to like play with some of other creators and stuff like that, or maybe just to play a specific game. There's one specific game that I've been meaning to play on stream, and I've been kind of leaving it there so I could play it on stream. But with that said, I am waiting till maybe we play it today after the news, or there was something in the schedule to play with some other people, but not completely sure if that's gonna happen today. So depending on what happens is what we'll do. If they're playing if they're gonna be playing today in the schedule, then we'll go ahead and play it with some other creators today. If not, then we'll just go ahead and just play our own game, because there's one game that I've been I've had my eye on, and I really want to play. But yeah, no, but overall, I hope that everybody's doing good. I'm surprisingly very energetic today. Maybe a New Year's special. I might. I don't believe I'm gonna have family on New Year's. So there is a big maybe there. But we'll see, because if I have plans, if me and my wife have plans, then I'll probably just spend it with her. Or maybe I'll do like a short stream from like I don't know, from like 7 to 9, and then spend the rest of the New Year's with my wife. We'll see what happens. Once again, if anything, I'll just notify it through Discord, and I'll try to keep you guys in check. But if you do see me, I will, most of the time, I usually go online at 7 p.m. So if I just so happen to go online and I didn't notify anybody, it's gonna probably still be around that time frame, around 7 p.m. So yeah. All right. So regarding news, so this week there's been a couple of things happening regarding in the gaming industry, regarding, I guess, once again we're going back into like the war between indie and AAA games. We're seeing a giant shift due to what we saw. We're seeing a lot of changes due to the consequences of what we saw in the Game Awards, and how different companies are now reacting to what they saw and the results of the Game Awards, and shifting their playbook to accommodate this new wave of people trying to, this new wave of people just wanting a more catered experience, and not so much the I guess overly done PR safe type of like content that AAA games have been providing, and obviously microtransactions and all that kind of stuff. It's clear to see that with the Game Awards, we see that indie developers are going, but I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically, the Game Awards came and went, and that has affected how the industry is now reacting to how they're making games. And we're seeing that shift now happen kind of sudden, but at the same time, we've been seeing it from a while now. But there has been some sudden changes recently. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's see. So if we can see, right, so we have the news. And like I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest things that we saw this year was this last week was the Game Awards. And one thing that I want to point out with the Game Awards, first of all, is stating congratulations to Expedition 33 for being an amazing, like having an amazing run this year and winning a total of 9. Ooh, that was a terrible 9. A total of 9 awards, which beats the previous record that existed set by The Last of Us Part 2. I believe it was 2023. I believe that's when it was. On The Last of Us Part 2, that record that they set, which was originally 7 awards, 1 in 1 year, Expedition 33 beat that by 2, and they just steamrolled the entire Game Awards this year. And honestly, very much warranted, very much earned. A lot of people who have not played Expedition 33 are now jumping into playing Expedition 33 if they hadn't before. So there's a lot of really a lot of people getting exposed to this masterpiece of a game, and once again, a really good game in just the RPG franchise. Just a really good game overall. Now, the thing is that this sent a clear message to the AAA industry, or the gaming industry as a whole, because what we're seeing is that in this Game Awards, 58% of all the games that won were indie games. This is officially the first Game Awards that the indie games took over the majority of all the awards compared to AAA games. So once again, we've been saying for a while now that indie games are the pendulum swinging, and indie games are now becoming more mainstream and more the popular option. And now we're also seeing it here in the awards, how that's affecting it, right? Like creators and like the community's choice for these awards were mostly indie games. And we're seeing it right here. So this is once again highlighting how during this war between AAA and indie games are pushing back. And we've been seeing them slowly but surely gain more ground, and they are winning this war. Another example of how much they're winning this war is the fact that I for myself consider the year 2025 the year of indie. 2025 is the year for indie games, and just the amount of indie games that were released and the amount of not just release but successful and like super popular indie games that were released this year. I definitely believe that indie overall took the world by storm this year, and it had way more attention. Now, the Game Awards wasn't received with just excitement, right? As we do see that they had protests in front of the Game Awards theater building, right? You didn't see this during the showing of the Game Awards. Obviously, they're not going to show you this kind of stuff. So, but behind the curtain, there was a protest happening in front of the theater, fighting against AAA companies and their, I guess, as they stated here, and their strip mining of the video game industry. Now, these people that were out here, they were basically fighting against a lot of the malicious practices that have been riddled in the gaming industry as of late. That being predatory microtransactions, that being the bunch of layoffs that have been happening throughout this year, and that being a lot of the malicious attacks that have happened to a lot of developers, whether that be being replaced by AI, or one of the things that they were really announcing against was what happened with Rockstar Entertainment, which they fired around 30 employees because they joined a union, allegedly, right? The reality is that on record, they've said that they didn't actually fire them because they joined the union. They actually fired them because they were leaking specific game features, and stuff like that. Now, this is kind of muddy water. We've already covered this news in the past. The timing doesn't add up. There's been a lot of accounts stating that they weren't actually giving out information, so things are not looking good for them. Regardless, It's not guaranteed right now. It's not like proven that it was due to unionization that they fired these people, but this is one of the many reasons that these individuals were outside of the theater and protesting. And so AAA companies are seeing a lot of heat right now. Once again, they have pressure from not winning as many awards. They have pressure from indie developers becoming more popular, indie games becoming more popular and more mainstream. They have the pressure from people fighting against them for their practices in the industry and going and criticizing them for a bunch of the layoffs that have been happening. And now we even have previous CEOs also going around and criticizing the way they've been running things. As we can see recently, the former Call of Duty dev Schofield laments the state of Activision and EA. Basically, in this interview, he states that when he was running the Activision and EA, he focused a lot on bringing new talent, making a good quality product, and just making a good game all around, right? And he says that, and I quote, "For me, it's bittersweet moment. I spent roughly a decade at each company, and right now they're sorry, I can't read it. And right now, right in their primes. I spent roughly a decade on each company, right in their primes, watching them fade from their roles as dominant publishers and powerhouses. Training ground hits harder than expected." They're stating it right there. He's stating right there that AAA companies like Activision and EA are losing ground. They are now they're not the powerhouses that they used to be. People are very skeptical of new games that come out from these companies, and you can see them in their sales, and you can see it in their, I guess, public sentiment, right? So he's stating it right there that he himself has noticed that their powerhouses, that these companies that he used to work for, are just a shell of what they used to be. But he does end the quote saying that he does see that there is a bright side, as he states that he's hoping that there's going to be in the future new leaders and new studios, new publishers that will push the mantle, right? It will take the mantle and will be able to lead in creating new and enjoying games and take the world by storm, and just overall really increasing, keeping up with the gaming industry and just keeping it alive and well and people happy with the industry, right? So these are just comments, but once again, this is highlighting how AAA companies are losing grasp of the powerhouse and the control that they used to have on the gaming industry. Another example of this is the fact that for the first time ever, Call of Duty is no longer gonna do back-to-back releases. This means that this is all because Call of Duty's Black Ops 7 sales and overall performance was not that great, and we covered it here as well. We saw that it saw an increase, but it was not at all the level of increase that we used to see in previous years. So this gap in performance is one of the reasons that now even Call of Duty is starting to push back. They're starting to hold back and be like, whoa. We can't keep going like this. We have to now reorient ourselves and see what we need to do to make sure that our new games, our new products are actually enjoyed by people, and that our new products are actually profitable, right? So this is just another example, right? There's a joke when people talk about the economy and all that kind of stuff, and they say different things are a recession indicator. I would like to say that this is a gaming industry recession indicator, right? This is a AAA falling indicator. There's so many things pointing to the fact that AAA companies are now being held accountable for their mistakes and for their mismanagement, and that indie developers are thriving in this market. And a lot of different people are seeing its effects in different ways. For example, Microsoft even has come out and stated that they are no longer going to be going for the $80 price point for games. For a while now, we've been seeing a couple of games increase in their value. They went up from $60 to $70, and some people are even trying to sell their games for $80. And what we're seeing now is that even Xbox is stating, nope, we cannot put our games for $80. It's at this point, $80 is too expensive for the public as a whole, and it will not sell well if we put it at $80. So they were trying to push that value higher, and it seems like it's gonna stay. Newer games are probably gonna stay around that $70 margin. But who knows? Because GTA 6 is coming out next year, and with a couple of the different things that have been happening with Rockstar, not just including their current backlash with the firings, but a couple of like internal issues that they've had while creating the game, and them having to delay the game even further, maybe they end up having to give it a higher price than we normally see for video games. But it is GTA 6. So my question is, what is the price you would pay for GTA 6? Would you pay GTA 6 if it was $80? Or would you even pay for it if it was $100? There was a joke flying around at some point that they were gonna make it $100. Now they stated that was not gonna happen, but with the Rockstar recently struggling a little bit, who knows? Maybe they will put it at $100. There is no say right now. Regardless, what do you think GTA 6 is worth for you? Not gonna lie, $80 seems reasonable for Xbox with the RAM shortage. So I don't agree. Here's why I don't agree with $80 being reasonable. Because Xbox, the RAM shortage is a console thing, and a video game is separate, right? The console, the price of the console should not affect the price of the individual games. For example, you do pay maybe $1,000, $2,000, depending on how upgraded your PC is. But a bunch of people have computers that range from $500 to $2,000 range in their setup. But video games are not, scaling to that range. They're scaling to the worth of the game, in which case usually used to be $60, and now we're seeing some indie games going cheaper and then some going higher, right? But 80 games has the price of the games has nothing to do with the actual console, like the company selling the console. So them using RAM shortages as an excuse is honestly a pretty bad excuse and an unrelated reason, and it would just show how greedy they are if they start saying that that's the reason they're increasing the games. But thank you for mentioning it, Sans, because the fact of the matter is that there is in fact a RAM shortage right now, and although they will not increase the price of the games, it will actually increase the price of the Xbox itself. Now, a lot of people are stating that Microsoft is basically shooting themselves on the foot, because the Xbox sales, and just in general, if you don't have an Xbox at this point, the likelihood of you getting an Xbox console is very low, especially with the potential new Steam machine coming in the future, and PlayStation seeing all around good performance and doing really well, and or just getting a PC and knowing that there are no more Xbox exclusives. So since there are no more Xbox exclusives, a lot of people are stating that Xbox has to change the game. Just selling their same console at a higher price is a no-go. They will not be successful if that's what they're aiming at. If that's what their plan is going to be in the upcoming months. So they are struggling themselves because another increase. Keep in mind, they did increase it earlier this year a second time. They're going to do a third increase because of the RAM shortage. I understand the reasoning, but at the same time, I can't imagine Xbox selling so many copies that they currently don't have anything in stock to sell at their current price. RAM shortages affect new PC builds also, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it does. I have a couple of friends who wanted to upgrade their computer with newer RAM, and they are unable to do so because of that. And this also does, this also kind of comes into effect with AI. The reason we're seeing RAM shortages is also because of all the upscale in AI and like these data center servers and like all these kinds of things. They are increasing the demand of all the usual computer components, which also, once again, brings me to believe if Xbox was already increasing their supply and their performance, this news that we saw last week, will they still be able to actually hold on to the 4.8 million devices that they wanted to work towards it next year, especially maybe in anticipation with Grand Theft Auto 6. The timing is a little bit off because remember, Microsoft is also building data centers, so they are also partaking in the reason why there is a RAM shortage. They themselves are part of the reason that RAMs have a shortage for us, the consumers, because they themselves are buying them in a bunch of bulk for their data centers. Which the timing is kind of sketchy. There is a type of conspiracy theory going on, which is that is Xbox actually just maybe doing this to screw over the Steam machine? Xbox might be screwing over the Steam machine because, like we said before, they were already buying a bunch of RAM to make their 48 million anticipated devices that they wanted to distribute on 2026. Not only that, we saw that they started building new data centers, and those new data centers acquired even more data. And now, because of all that, the price of the Steam machine, which has not been announced yet, might be even worse because people are now speculating that the Steam machine was already gonna be like more expensive than they expected because of tariffs, and now it's gonna be even more expensive because of the RAM shortages. So could this be a tactic? Some people are stating that this could be a tactic from Microsoft trying to make the Steam machine more expensive by taking away resources so that they can actually they have to put their price higher so they can't compete with their own console. So who knows? That's a conspiracy theory that we're seeing right now. And poor little Steam machine over here is the one kind of holding the bag. And we're still waiting to know how much it is that we're gonna have to pay and fork up to have this console. I, for one, once again, would really love to get a Steam machine. But that being said, it is a theory. I generally, it is a conspiracy theory. I don't think that it's actually the case. I think that the timing is kind of off. I think that that although it does look kind of bad for them because they are the ones taking the RAM and they are the ones doing a lot of these things, I think it's just, it's just the industry. AI is a separate thing than the video game sector when it comes to Microsoft and video games. So I think that this whole like AI thing that's happening on the end, we're just seeing the repercussions in our field in the gaming industry. I don't think it's actually a malicious attack towards or a malicious intent towards Steam Deck to make them fail, but the timing is a little bit, at least it is a little bit damning against the Steam machine. As we can see here, that a lot of people, it's a little bit damning. Let me drink. My throat is kind of sore. Okay, there we go. All right. So, what is with that said, although Steam Machine is struggling and they're going to have to probably increase their prices due to the RAM shortage, the tariffs that they've already been working on, and a bunch of other factors, Xbox doesn't have it that well either. Because we just mentioned how Xbox is going to increase their price of their console yet again due to the RAM shortages. But people are already stating that if Xbox's new console or like next gen console doesn't actually add anything and is still just its own separate console, it might fail. As they state here, they state that a merger has to happen. Basically, what they want is the new Xbox to basically be a computer, but console. So they want the new Xbox to be what the Steam Machine is, which is a computer console, a hybrid of sorts. And that's exactly what they want Microsoft to do with the Xbox. And they're stating that if they don't manage to do that with the Xbox, we might see that its next gen console might flop entirely. And another point that's going against Microsoft in this state is if you look at the Game Awards, a lot of games were released and a lot of people were talking about a bunch of the new games that were released in the Game Awards. But if you take a look, they do highlight that most of the games in the Game Awards were actually not for Xbox. We see that, in fact, there were around 29 games, without including The Sound of Midnight, for Xbox, which is out of the 60 games that were announced, and only 10, and PlayStation 5 had 10 more games in their catalog coming for their platform, for their console, that Xbox didn't have included, right? So it seems like this could be an issue. Now, it's not an issue if Xbox is merged with your computer and you can just play it on Steam or on your Xbox, right? Now, will Xbox allow you to get a Steam? It's debatable. They are now officially competitors to each other. So even if you were to make a Xbox computer hybrid type of thing, console hybrid, you would still, the likelihood is that they would still not be able to run all these games that they stated are not for the Xbox. They might be for PC, but not Xbox. And the hope is that if you have an Xbox PC hybrid, that you'll be able to play PC games. But in order for you to play PC games, you have to have Steam. And will Xbox allow you to get Steam on your Xbox console? Very, very unlikely, especially if the Steam Machine is the competitor and you're gonna more likely want to go play on your Steam console instead of the Microsoft, right? So overall, a lot of competition. The console competition or console wars that are happening right now are a little bit different, but they are still basically fighting against what games would allow different people to play, right? Before, PlayStation would fight against Xbox, and they would fight each other, right? They would try to get consumers to buy their console by pointing out their individual consoles exclusive games, right? But Xbox, having been moving away from console exclusives and more into this like everything is an Xbox type of trope, then them doing so means that a lot of games are no longer really catered for Xbox, and now it's losing a little bit of its I guess a market, right? Meanwhile, PlayStation still continues trying to work towards the PlayStation exclusive, right, into that market so that people can buy their consoles, even though they are pushing some of their games into PC. And then who's benefiting from all this? Well, Steam. Once again, Steam, which is now making their new console, is benefiting from all this because they get the PlayStation exclusive games because it's on PC, and they already have all the Xbox games, considering Xbox is no longer looking for exclusivity. So overall, this just looks like more of a reason for you to get a Steam Machine and giving the Steam Machine a higher edge against older consoles and like bigger giants that used to be in the industry. but the war is still happening. Once again, we won't know for sure until we get the actual Steam machine price. That will dictate how the next year is gonna go regarding video games and hardware, video game hardware. So that's what we're seeing. Now, there's been a lot of innovation in the video game hardware, right? We're seeing the Steam machine, right? Which is trying to do the thing with the PC and everything. But we're starting to see a whole new type of console of sorts with the recent creation of board. So here Polygon talked about the fact that there's a new game that there is a new console coming out that is around $700 or less expensive than newer consoles that are coming out, and it aims to challenge PlayStation and Nintendo with a tabletop tech. So what do you mean? What is this tabletop tech? Well, this new console that's coming out, which has its own unique games so far, is basically a board with a screen on top of a bunch of mini games that you can play with your friends, right? Here's another example of it, where you have different games, but there's a physical aspect of it, right? It's very innovative, similar to what the type of things that Nintendo used to or have been trying to like innovate on, right? This feels very Nintendo-y in that sense. And as you can see, it is a interactive board that you have a bunch of different board games that you can play with. So basically, it's a digital board game. That's the new thing. Apparently, if this succeeds, we're seeing digital board games. And this is a new way to game. We're seeing a new way of people being able to get into video games. Now, when we talk about games, we have basically three categories. You have sports, right? Physical games. So you have sports and stuff like that. That's has always existed. People love playing those type of games, right? So we have sports. We have board games, which is basically physical games, but you have different pieces and you're trying to play with people together in one room, and there's a lot of party games involved and all that kind of stuff. But basically you have board games. And now, and before, we also then had the video game, which is we had the console or a PC or whatever, and you would play video games with a controller or a keyboard and mouse or whatever it was. Well, now we have a fourth contender, which is the digital board game. Now, the digital board game did kind of exist up until now. This might be coming up because, for example, if you know about Tabletop Simulator, Tabletop Simulator is just board games being emulated into a digital format for people to play from long distance. If you can't play with your friend because you don't live near each other, Tabletop Simulator allows you to play different board games, but, you know, simulated digitally, right? But this is a whole new definition to what a simulator, a digital board game could be. It's no longer a board game that you're playing on your PC. It's an active digital canvas, a digital game that you can play with your friends as if it were a board game together. And I think this is super interesting. It's a super interesting concept that if people develop games for and stuff like that, it could become its whole new niche, a whole new niche for people to play. And it's honestly not that bad. And not only is it pretty innovative and they have a couple of games and it generally looks good and polished, it's also not that bad of a price point. Because if we take a look at their website, we can see that right now they're selling the console for roughly $500. This is the seasonal Christmas sale that they have right now. It's $500, but normally it's the $700 that Polygon mentioned. Still, this is really good. And if people start jumping into this trend, similar to board games, similar to people creating new sports, and similar to people creating video games, this could be a whole new format of playing. It's basically a way for you to kind of emulate what it used to be like to play a in a arcade, right? Where when you go to arcade, you have, for example, a bunch of games that have that board kind of concept on it. You have Pac-Man, or you have like, or you could consider even like, foos. I'm trying. Air hockey into this. So they have some digital components to them, and overall, it allows you to play with your friend in a digital space, but still being together. And I think that this is very innovative, very, very cool. Honestly, I think it's a really good concept. And I think that if it gets attention and you get a lot of people developing some nice games for it, I think it could be something really good, especially for kids nowadays that no longer have, that parents are trying to get them to not deal with the internet so much. This is a good alternative, similar to, I guess, when we grew up, that we had our Game Boys or we had our DS and stuff. I think this is a really nice way of incorporating video games in a more tactile and a more grounded space that people can like monitor and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's really nice. It's really cool. It has portability as well. So I think this is a really nice project. And if you think that it's a nice project too, I highly recommend you check their website. They're called Board. You can Google like Board tabletop game, tabletop video game or console, and you'll be able to find it. That's how I found the website. Overall, really cool concept. I hope that they keep adding to this concept, and we might see a new type of way in which we play video games, and just a new type of console all overall. So very interesting concept. Now, lastly, I want to cover our this week's highlighted games highlight, right? So every single week when I cover the news, I try to also give a highlight to any specific game that I think has either something related, or I would just like to give you guys attention to know how that game is performance and what's their jam score overall. And this week, the game that I want to highlight is the game Dead by Daylight. So, as some of you know, I really like Dead by Daylight. And recently, I don't have a hat, so I'll just do lower your hats to Dead by Daylight, as we are losing something great. They're seeing a terrible loss. They're seeing terrible loss, Dead by Daylight. Yep. As we can see, Dead by Daylight just recently announced that their Halloween DLC will be leaving the game. That's right. After January 19th, you will no longer be able to access Michael Myers and be able to buy him and play him in the game. Similar to the way they took out Pinhead, and similar to the way they took out the Demogorgon and then they put them back in. If you don't buy the shape right now, after January 19th, you will never have access to him ever again. It's very sad. Halloween was, like, Michael Myers was one of the first, if not the first, collaboration that DBD had with an official IP. It was the first IP that they were able to put into the game. So it's sad that we're seeing Michael Myers go. So due to that, I want you guys to, if you like DBD, I think now would be the time to go in there, get yourself the shape, and make sure that it continues to have, that it makes sure that it never leaves. It leaves a mark in the shape of your heart. I'm trying to make a heart with this thing, but I can't. In the shape of your heart. In the shape of your heart. Give some love to the shape, as we might not be seeing it in the future. Sad. Sad. But because of this, since the shape is going to be leaving us, and they've been having a lot of events in the last couple of months, I decided, why not take a look at DBD, at Dead by Daylight, and see their performance. So if we take a look at the performance of Dead by Daylight, which you can check out yourself by going to dgamingmarketplace.com and searching Dead by Daylight, you can see that Dead by Daylight right now is currently standing in 14th space in the entire video game marketplace, and they're standing tall with a strong 150 gems currently. Now, it seems like its overall performance has been just that. It's right around its average. Its average gem score is 151 gems. So overall, it's been very steady, and you can see it yourself by looking at its performance over time. You do see some ups and downs. You even see some ups and downs depending on the season and the different events that they had. This little hype right here is during their Halloween season. This little spike right here is during their this little spike right here is during their 2v8 release. And we can see that 2v8 did increase its average a little bit, and its performance overall. And now we're seeing the new Christmas event that just started. But its highest ever score that we've recorded so far was 329 gems. 26 gems, sorry. 326 gems. Overall, really good performance for DBD, and it shows that DBD is still one of the top games and asymmetric multiplayer games that you can play right now. So once again, if you have not played DBD, I highly recommend you play DBD. It's a really good and fun asymmetric multiplayer game. But also, if you have played DBD before and you left and you haven't played it in a while and you don't have Michael Myers, I highly recommend you get it now before it's gone forever, before it's gone for good. So don't let Michael Myers cry alone in a corner. Go ahead and get him yourself and enjoy playing DBD as a killer, the Michael Myers. But until then, we'll have to bid farewell to Michael Myers on January 19th. He had a long run. And with that, that concludes today's update of the gaming marketplace. I hope that you learned a couple of different things here. We can see that, once again, to recap, the gaming industry is changing. We're seeing new consoles being developed. We're seeing new games being developed in the indie space. And we see that AAA game companies are now pushing a little, holding back a little bit on their expenses, on their work ethic, on the games that they're developing, in order to kind of readjust and restructure their frame of how they're gonna develop games in the future. Because right now, indie games are ruling on top. But I will see you guys in the next update of the gaming marketplace. Please go ahead and hit the like, the subscribe button, and there are all the little things. Follow me on social media, and we'll see you guys in the next week's update. I won't see you guys on Christmas. So I'll see you on the week after Christmas. So I will see you then. So that concludes the update. That concludes this week's update. Overall, once again, pretty interesting stuff. I am probably gonna get Michael Myers myself, because he's gonna be gone. I don't play Michael Myers, but I am sad that I didn't play when Pinhead was added, because I would like to play Pinhead. So we'll see. I see somebody here, very tired, is not being very doesn't have any solidarity for the loss of Michael Myers, and is here laughing and saying bye-bye to Michael Myers. There's no rest for the wicked, I tell you. No rest. But what do you think? Are you gonna get Michael Myers? Curse my limited budget I already spent on Balatro and then Garopa version 3. Yeah. Yeah. I also don't have a budget. I'm hoping that I can get the game. Like, I can actually get the shape. Maybe I'll ask one of my friends to pretty please just buy me the game. Buy me, I already have DBD, just buy me the shape. Pretty please buy me Michael Myers before it leaves. It's a Christmas present. I'll tell them. We'll talk to them. If not, they're gonna end up the wrath of the banana. They'll know what it's like. What it's like to not be able to get the things you love before they go. But as they say, that famous song goes, if you love me, let me go. Oh, the Danganronpa was on sale. I love Danganronpa series. I haven't played any. I don't think the game is my cup of tea, but the actual story and like the universe and the IP itself, I really like. I really like Danganronpa. But yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and check real quick if we're gonna be doing the gaming session today, or if I'm gonna be playing alone for the night. Let's see. Gotta check. Ooh, I think it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen tonight. I think we're gonna have to play on our own, because it seems like a lot of people said no. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. It seems like it might not happen tonight. Okay. In that case, we're gonna go ahead. And once again, there is a game that I did recently get that I do want to play, and that game is. Let me boot it up. This little game right here. This little game. Make sure that I have it set. Properties. There we go. There we go. So that is the game. Alright, so we have stack flow. I'm gonna change the resolution so that it actually fits in the actual screen. This. Alright, can you guys see it? Perfect. You guys can see the whole game. Perfect. So we're gonna be playing stack flow. So if you don't know what stack flow is, let me change it on the thing. So if you don't know what stack flow is basically a roguelike, it's a roguelike Tetris game, right? So I can't, oh, maybe this. Yeah. There we go. That's pretty loud. I'm gonna have to lower it. I'll lower it just a little bit. Is it me or it's not lowering the volume at all? Oh, I mean, it lowered it for you guys there, I guess, but it didn't lower it for me. Yeah, it's lowering for you guys, but it's not lowering it for me. So it's very loud for me for some reason. We'll keep it at that. Regardless, it is a roguelike of it if you even have the value for it. For which one? For Danganronpa, or do you mean for Stack Flow? Let's see. Let's see. For Stack Flow, I don't think I have it. The game just came out not too long ago, and I don't think it has that much traction right now. No, it doesn't. I don't have Stack Flow right now. It's pretty new, so I wouldn't be surprised. And it hasn't gotten that much attention, so we'll see if I can give it some attention. But we'll have to leave it at that. Okay, so with that said, I realized that it was the YouTube music that I was hearing this entire time. It was Undertale soundtrack. Okay, so I don't have Stack Flow, but basically it just came out. I think it's an early access too. I don't think it's like the full game is out yet. Yeah, it's version 0.9. So it's currently in early access, and I saw Northern Lion playing it, and I found it very interesting, and I decided I wanted to play it myself as well. So here I am, ready to play the game, and let's go ahead and give it a go, shall we? When a row is cleared, you gain 10 stack. I'll just play default for now. All right. So once again, it's literally just a Tetris game. I'll read what it says. Welcome to Stack Flow. This strategic block stacking game is all about smart placement and management. Watch your score, stack, and flow at the top. These drive your progress. Place blocks to complete lines. Each line gives 10 points plus flow bonuses. It's basically Balatro mechanics when it comes to like these scores. Check upcoming pieces and track what remaining in your deck, which is this value right here. Plan ahead wisely. Used to hold, yep, but your target score increases by 10% each time. Okay, good to know. Reach your target score to win, unlock new block. Okay. You choose if you use its pieces run out or blocks reach the top of the screen. Okay. This is just if Balatro and Tetris had a baby. Pretty much. This is pretty much that. Oh, wait. Are you kidding me? Are you using, like, D-pad for this? Oh, I don't like this. I don't like these. Okay. I don't... Okay, wait a second. I use both hands. I don't use my mouth for this. Instant place. Rotate clockwise. Counterclockwise, move. Okay, kind of weird. Okay, weird controls, but okay. And then space to, yeah, okay. And I can make you go down faster, and I can do that. Okay. All right. So it's just Tetris. This part at least. I'll have to get used to these controls. They're kind of not what I would expect from a Tetris game, if I'm being completely honest, but hopefully I'll get used to it in the future. Right now, we're just playing Tetris. I already got the score. One line, and we managed to get the score up. And here is the roguelike element. So we get to choose blocks that, like different categories of blocks that we can then place, and they'll do different things. So we have skeleton block. When destroyed, releases a flying bone that shatters the first block it hits, giving +5 stack per block. When a block is placed, gives 0.5 stack. Okay, for each adjacent colony block. Okay. When destroyed, releases 2 fireballs that burn up to 3 blocks, granting a +5 flow per block. Doesn't sound bad at all. Fireball bounces off walls. I'm thinking this is multiplier. So I like something that has multiplier on it. Yeah. Okay, so playing next round. All right. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll put that. All right. So yeah, we should be able to start seeing the craziness soon enough. I kind of screwed myself there. We'll put you here, and then we'll do a pro gamer move. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Watch this. Yeah, watch this. I'm gonna do this, and then, oh, no, wrong. And there you go, see? Look at that. Pro Tetris moves. Bro. I love Tetris. There's a reason. All right, so once again, the controls are kind of just a little bit awkward for me. Okay, and then this guy. There you go, 3-stacker. No, 2-stacker, sorry. And then let's see what this dude. There you go. 500 points. Made the goal easy. First goal done easily. Mimic. When destroyed, gives +3 flow. Transforms a random block on the board into a different block. Okay? When a block is placed, gives... This is queen bee. When a block is placed, gives... Oh, okay. So this is the exact same thing as the other one, but it's actually like multiplier. I like that. When destroyed, gives 10 stack. Every 5 seconds, a random adjacent block becomes uranium if it is not nuclear. Okay. So they keep spreading. Uranium keeps spreading, turning other blocks into uranium, and it increases their stack by 10 each time. I'm interested in that. Let's go uranium. Let's see how that fares. Okay, I didn't hear what the thing was. What are you? Clearing less than 4 rows multiplies your stack by 0.5. Okay, so I'm rewarded by clearing less. Seems. We're gonna. Yeah. It gave me a plus. Oh, I'm math, dude. Math. I gotta be doing more rows or it halves my points. That's what's happening. Okay. I'm understanding it. I misunderstood what it was trying to tell me. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Let's put you there. Let's put you. If I put you here, put you here. Put you here. I need to do a 4-stack. Okay. I need to do a 4-stack, and now I can grab my thing and then 4-stack this. And now we're not gonna get half full points. We should get full points. See? Now that's good. Now we math. Now we're doing it. Wasn't that easy? Uranium did spread really quickly though. It did even ruin some of the blocks that had other stuff. So I'm not exactly super happy, but the score was very high. So it can't be that bad. Select to upgrade permanently your run. Pieces will automatically be placed 3 seconds after it spawns. You gain +10 stacks for every piece it plays. No. Reduces a target score by 25%. I mean, that seems like super good, no matter how you look at it. If you clear 3 or more lines in a single combo, it gain 2 times flow. Stackmaster I like. It's very unlikely that I'm gonna get it. The score is really good though, but I ain't no pussy. I don't need things to be easy. I have the skill to make that skill work. All right. I can do that. Do this. Hold that. Place this. Rotate that. Rotate this. I could do that. I'll put it here. And then rotate you. And then get you. Yeah, let's do you. Let's rotate you here. They're all gonna be uranium by the end of this. Okay. So let's do that, and then let's do you, and let's do a 4 stack. There you go. 12K. We're decimating our goal right now. We're completely decimating our goal. We have everything we need. Okay. Electric guitar. When destroyed, gives +4 stack multiplied by the number of electric guitar blocks in the same column. But we're not going to be able to do that with uranium. When destroyed, gives +3 flow, but we're not going to be able to do that with uranium. I think we're doing a uranium run overall, right? So let's reroll. Okay, there we go. Radioactive. Ooh. Nuke. When destroyed, explodes this column, giving a +1 stack per block. Destroying column is not bad. Nuclear blocks give +5 stack instead. Okay, but that's not bad at all because we're doing a nuclear run. Okay, we're doing a nuclear run. When destroyed, gives +1 flow and converts a random block on the board into radioactive. When destroyed, okay. I think this one is good because it synergizes with the other one that we have that's nuclear, so uranium. It won't change it. And now nuclear blocks as a whole will have more. I think this is a good one. Palacho Tetris baby is such an accurate description, lol. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And then put that. Yep. I don't know why I'm being like very fast with this. I don't think the game is asking me to be fast with my movement. Especially because it has a a block limit that you can place. We could do this. Yeah, let's do that. So it blows up the whole row. See, we almost got it and it wasn't even a 4 stack. So it does ruin any other synergy with any other blocks that we have. So everything we get has to be uranium going forward if we want it to synergize well. Let's go here. We got 13 blocks left. Come on, we almost got what I want. Here. Yeah, there. Sure. And let's do this. That raises that. Okay. I mean, we already did the score with that one. Currently, score is not an issue with the ones we're doing. We exploiting a reactor core with this one. Yeah, we're creating the devil core. Is it called devil core? What was it called again? I think it's called the devil core. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right if I say devil core. What was it called? Was it called devil core? No. The demon core. That's why. We're creating a demon core so that we can all die by radioactivity. After 5 seconds, explodes a 3x3 area around it, giving you +2 stack for each stack. I mean, that could synergize with the the other one that we have, but let's look for nuclear. Yeah, let's do more nuclear blocks. I think more nuclear blocks is the way to go. Okay. I keep changing from using my mouse to using the keyboard because of how it's designed. Oh, I see. They took out the little helper that I had to know where it was gonna land if I press space. But that's okay. We don't need that. We got everything we need right here. We got everything we need right here. Yep. We don't need a little helper. Okay, we might need to just kind of call it there and do a 3 stack instead of a 4 stack. All right, there we go. And then that's gonna destroy, those balls are gonna destroy that. I mean, we did it. We're doing really well. C4 would be been overwritten by nuclear. That's what I was thinking too. That's exactly what I was thinking. Point rush. Stack given by blocks of your initial deck are multiplied. Okay. Wouldn't that work? Initial deck? What do you mean by initial deck? Like normal blocks? And then when another perk activates, gain +1 flow. That could really work. I didn't even read the other one. I accidentally just clicked on it. But we'll see. Perks activating, I'm assuming is the I'm assuming is the what you call it? The thing that's the reason we're doing 3 stacks all the time. Well, I don't like this one. And that should still hit these guys. Yeah, that's gonna hit. Okay. Let's go with wow. Yeah. Yeah, that works. That works. Now all we're seeing is nuclear. And then I can change to you. I can put you there, you here. Once again, we want to try to do as much 3 stack as possible, like 4 stack as possible. Okay, put you there. Okay. Put you here. Put you there. I need a line piece. Line piece. Line piece. Let's go. Okay. There you go. We're getting, I think the highest we've gotten is like 15k. I don't think we're getting that much higher. Oh, there you go. Each time a nuclear block spreads, gain +1 flow. There we go. There we go. Now we're seeing the synergy. Now we're increasing the multiplier. This is synergy. We're synergizing. It's synergizing. Synergization. All right. Let's put that there. Let's put you there. Let's put you there. No time to think. Only time to act. Let's go. I'm gonna keep you. Let's put you here. Let's put you there. Put you there. Put you there. Oh, I love it, baby. We're seeing it. Synergy. We're synergy. Ooh. There we go. Now that spreads. Every single time that spreads, we're getting more multiplier. Look at that. Come on. Now I want it to spread even more. And that multiplier is going to keep growing even more. And I can end this at any moment with using the line piece. So I'm perfectly fine with what I have right now. And like line piece here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those multipliers. We have 130 something multiplier already. Okay, let's can you, okay, there we go. And then, oop, look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Almost 300k already out of the gate. Out of the gate. Too good. Too good. I'm just too good at these type of games. This is why I play these games. The rush. Too good at synergizing. Too good at doing this shit. I'm just too good. Monster, we're not doing monsters. I'm gonna skip. We don't need any of these. Because we're synergizing. We're already creating our thing. Pieces rotate automatically every 3 seconds. Ooh, I don't like it. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that one bit. So that means I gotta... no. I gotta make sure that I Yeah, it synergizes randomly. Okay. Oh my god, no, it's turning. It's spinning every single 3 seconds. Oh no. Let's do that. No, that's what I mean. The controls are not great. Oh my god. The controls are not great. Okay. 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 Ooh, how are we gonna make this work? Yeah. We just kind of have to do that. We're kind of in a pickle now. We're kind of in a pickle. Okay. Why do I keep swapping? It's just so uncomfortable that I keep swapping accidentally. Not where I wanted to put it, but we're gonna have to work with this. There we go. That'll help us withstand this a little bit better. Okay, we can work with what we have, right? So I can go to C, and then okay. There you go. That was an annoying turn that it was doing. Yep. Okay. Turn it. There you go. Not how I want you to turn it. There you go. Okay. Okay. 13 pieces left. We still got this. We still got this. We still got this. Okay. Line piece. Yo, fine. Stay there. And now I'm gonna get the line piece that I need right here. And that's gonna end it. There you go. That's wow, that was not as high a score as I expected, but still, we did it. We got it. That was a little bit of a pickle. I didn't like it turning on its own, but we got it. Last press. After placing your last piece, gain 200 stack. We don't need that. If you clear the board completely, multiply stack by 3 and flow by 3. That's also pretty damn good. Acceptance. If you place a piece without rotating it, gain +5 flow. I think full clear is more likely with the explosions that we have of our radioactive. Okay. We're building. Oh, okay, when it does that, I can still make it work like that. See, rain. We're just too good. We're just too good. Well, we could already. In fact, I'll do that there. We'll put you here. Just because I want it to keep on spreading. I want you to keep on spreading. I want you to keep on spreading. So I can get my multiplier up even more. I wonder if I can like kind of squeeze it in there. No, I can't. Okay, that's perfectly fine. What I do need now is to put it all into it. There we go. We got this. This is the easy mode. This is easy money, guys. Getting it, the hang of it. Survive level 10. This is easy. This is so far super easy. When destroyed, give a 0 point block on the board. When destroyed, give that. When destroyed, creates a new slime and random gap. Okay. None of these are gonna work for us. Let's re-roll you. Oh, there you go. This one works. We're gonna have to at some point get non-nuclear ones so they can actually spread in our deck, but I think we can do that in the next one. The next block is going to be a non-nuclear one unless we unlock a new one that I find exciting. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's put you down. That. Let's put you just here. Here. There. That. Go. I don't like you.
didn't mean to do that. Keep pressing the wrong button. Jesus Christ. Dude, press it. I want you to keep that. Okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's end it. Yeah. Let's just get those points. Oh, that didn't count as like stage clear. Damn, that would have been so good. 500. 500k. We're doing more than fine. Your total score 594k. We're doing more than fine. This is already an endless run. Okay, we need something that's not... No, not TNT. We need something that's not radioactive, so it actually can like spread, and we can get that stack multiplier even more. What did it say? Prevent you from using hold function. Oh, I can't hold. Okay, that can be a little bit annoying. Let's see here. We're just... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but we can save it. We can save it. We do need a lot of line pieces for this current setup, though. I want to keep making line pieces, but I can't hold. Okay. Okay. We can do this. This is perfectly fine. Okay. I don't know if we're gonna get a line piece in the ending, so we gotta make sure we use it when we're looking back. Come on, come on, come on, come clear it. That's a clear. That's clear board. Okay, didn't give us anything, I think, but we got it nonetheless. We got it done. The boss level, we got it done. I don't want it to be automatically placed in 3 seconds. Shortcut seems fine. Stacks given by blocks by your initial... Okay, we'll just go with shortcut here. Okay. Actually, I can hold you. I can hold you. Okay. Okay. That's not what I want to do. I keep increasing my score multiplier because I keep pressing the wrong button. They're using such weird like controls for this. Once again, I do not like the no, let's do this. That's not what I want. I didn't want to swap you again. I do want to swap you this time though. That's goal multiplier. We're okay right now because we can meet that score. But it does worry me a little bit. Okay, this is not the 4 stack. We can start doing this so they can start spreading. There we go. There we go. Not what I wanted to do. Ooh, that's a scary place. Okay, I'm gonna have to just end it there. I'm doomed. I am doomed. I am doomed. Oh my god, how am I gonna clear that? No. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm doomed. I'm genuinely doomed. I screwed up. Oh, dude. It's these controls. Can I change these controls? We had such a good run, too. I'm gonna change these controls real quick. Controls. This is like terrible placement. Can you give me... Alright. Give me... Okay. Rotate clockwise. That's this way. Counterclockwise is that way. U, W. Okay. And then hold piece is this one. Okay, save. Let's try again. When there are a round without rotating a piece, when a row is cleared, you gain Act 10 flow and 1 stack. Okay. Row is cleared, 10 stack. Okay. I think that's fine. Let's try another one. Let's try another one. Oh, I just realized something. Wait a second. Options. Why did you change to full screen again? Save. There you go. Okay. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. We got this. Okay. Okay. We got this. And then I can just hold you by doing that. Okay, okay, we're getting somewhere. That, okay, that, and I think we could just, yeah, no, we can just do this. Okay, there we go. Okay. We increase our multiplier instead of our stack by everyone. Okay, so that's not bad at all. Okay, when you destroy, when destroyed creates, we're not gonna go with nuclear again. We'll try something else. Let's try colony. Let's go bees. The working bees, you know, we're a working bee. I'm a worker bee. Are you a worker bee? I consider myself a worker bee. Type these. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And I can hold you. Okay, I see. So every single time I place a unit, they're getting more stack. That's not bad at all. Let's just do this score. Okay, see, that's a good one. We're doing well. That was a good score that we just got there. When destroyed, awards a 1 or 3 stack or 1 in a. Okay, we want more worker bees, I think. Yeah, let's go more worker bees. We want it to stack. You know, valga la redundancia. That's what we kind of want to do. Ooh, good to know that doesn't let me rotate it after. Doesn't let me rotate it after the fact. I can make this work. I just gotta do this. Not what I would want to do. Let's just figure it out. Let's do that. I'm gonna pass it, not super comfortably, not like the others, but we're doing fine. We're staying alive, which is what matters. Oh, that's not bad for this run. This is also not bad. I'll do this guy. This is gonna be a little bit more annoying. it's gonna be automatically placed on its own, right? So it won't be able to. Yeah. Okay. So that's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. Okay. Okay. So it's gonna start doing on its own, which I'm not a huge fan of. This might bite me in the ass later. Alright, we're doing good though. The bees are stacking up pretty nicely though, I will say. I don't want explosives. When destroyed randomly, no. When destroyed, multiply stack by 2, but multipliers your flow by 0 points. So it lowers it by 25%. Let's reroll. When destroyed gives +3 stack and command all pirate cannoneers blocks to shoot knives. Each knife destroys the first block it hits. That's interesting. Let's go with pirates. Let's go with pirates. Let's see what pirates do. I forget that I gotta use the D-pad. That one if you want to store. Ooh, it's that automatic placement is going to be the death of me. That's gonna be the death of me. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Pirate cannoneers. Okay, so when destroyed, it gives +1 and shoot all cannons blocks on board. When destroyed, it gives +4 stack applied, multiplied by the number of electric guitars in the column. When destroyed, it gives +3 stack. Can be fired by a pirate cannoneer blocks, launching. Okay. I think I get how the pirates are going. Like, one blows up, the other one triggers the other one, triggers the other one, triggers the other one type of thing. It's a chain reaction. Let's keep that one. That up. Screw that over. Okay, we're good. We can just do this for now. We still managed. We still did it. But that, once again, that will kill me in the higher rounds. If you can't use hold, instead I'll sacrifice your current piece to reduce target by 5%. No, thank you. Let's see here. Last breath. After placing your last piece, gain 200. No, thank you. Without rotating it. Okay, you know, acceptance will work for the thing we're doing right now. There we go. Let's go with that. Ooh, that's not how I wanted you. Well, that works. That works. Yeah, here's the knives. Okay. That was interesting. The knives are all horizontal too. They're not vertical. Let's reroll. What is this? I wonder what button do. What that button do? I mean, pirate cannoneers. I think it's if we're gonna do a pirate deck. I think we didn't get any more honeys. Oh, right, we lost the one with the honeys. I think no, this is the one with the honey. We didn't get much honey stuff, like bee stuff. So this will work for us for now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I noticed that the moment I was hesitating to where placing it is the moment that I was getting screwed. Screw that one over. Ooh, I almost screwed that one over again as well. There we go. Okay. Not so bad. I still really prefer our first one when we were doing nuclear, but so far not bad. So far so good. Play around. Oh, it's going upwards. Oh, that one is a little bit confusing. Wait a second. This one is a little bit confusing. Oh, and it's making me throw them. Why is it a little bit more confusing this way? No, why? Oh, why? No. Okay. Okay. They're still triggering. Okay. We somehow managed. I do not like this orientation. This is definitely like annoying. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. I can't really tell that well. Oh my god, this is really throwing me for a loop. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it out of this one, guys. Honestly, who would have thought that? Oh, I'm done. Well, thank God for the pirates, dude. I was gonna lose this one. I was not dealing that well with the whole thing it was doing. Okay, if you clear 3 stacks or more, okay, point rush. If it blocks initial deck are multiplied times 2. If he's within response, okay, yeah, speed runner. That kind of synergizes with every other perk we've been getting. Okay, we're back to basics. Yeah, that'll work. Not what I want you to do. Not what I want you to do. Okay. I'm gonna have to like. Yeah. Okay. That is not the best placement, but it will work for now. Okay. Ooh, that's not enough. I think we lose it. We're out, guys. Yeah. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, we're out. That's it. Alright. I'm not gonna do... I don't know if I should do another one. I think I'm gonna call it here, maybe. At least for this game. I liked it a lot. If you guys want me to play it more, then I'll gladly play it more. I'll probably be playing this outside of stream because it's a really nice little game that they got going on here. There's definitely some polish that needs to be made. It is in early access after all. Something like making the end game feel a little bit like when you lose, it's kind of anticlimactic when you lose. There's not an animation or anything like that. I think that'd be very interesting for them to add. Um, Other than that, um, I think that there's a ways they can make certain like the elimination of the stack and stuff like that feel a little bit more uh wow type of thing. But overall, really fun game. I think the synergies are there and I think they're very interesting. So yeah, I liked it a lot, honestly. It's once again a Balatro Tetris love child. So it was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys also enjoyed it. But we're gonna stop with that game here. And I was wondering. So we'll stop with that game for here for now, right? And let's go ahead. I was thinking, let's go ahead. Okay. So what I was thinking is, what we can do now is go ahead and I wanted to talk about something that I saw in regards to something regarding uh a friend sent me a discussion that was kind of that I saw in TikTok, and I just kind of wanted to like kind of show it on screen. So I'm gonna see if I can just show it here. Let me see if I can open the TikTok. Let's see here. Let's see. Is my TikTok on this one? No, I'm okay with like opening another one. All right. Okay. So let me see if I can web capture, window capture, properties. Let's do all right. All right. There's this. Maybe let's use another one. Maybe window capture, display capture. No, it's window capture, and let's call it vertical. All right. So if we take a look real quick here, and I'll just add some filters in here. Crop. Yeah. Okay. Let's do there. Oh, not what. Let's do like 100 here. Maybe. Yeah. And then another 400 here. That too much? There we go. I think that's fine. All right. So what I wanted to do real quick is I think it might be better if I do this one and I add it here. Vertical. There it is. All right, perfect. So we'll watch it here. I think this is a nice vertical. And I just want to real quick, what I want to do is just kind of check what's my activities. Let's see, where are you? My conversations. Okay. So for context, so they're basically criticizing here. Let me see if I can. Why is the comment showing in that way? Come on. Can I like hide comments? No, come on. Let me hide you. Let me hide you. Loading player, maybe? Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Give me a sec. Well, I figure. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change the filter a little bit. There you go. Filters. I'm gonna have to change the cropping a little bit. Right, so you're gonna have to be like more. Let's put you. Let's make sure. Right, so you're gonna have to be like more. So let's put 500 maybe. No, 600, and then make you. Yeah, okay, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, so the context for this is basically the guy is talking about um how video games how like accessibility in video games. In this case, they are criticizing ableist Dark Souls, right, for being ableist. So let me just hit play and you can hear the discussion. All right, we'll stop it here because then they kind of go on a tangent on what's a disability and whatever, and that doesn't matter. What I did want to talk about is that they're talking about Dark Souls here, not the lack of a button of a pause button on Dark Souls being a inherent thing, making them an ableist, and I think that that is kind of like a that argument I don't agree with, right? I don't agree putting a label on Dark Souls saying that it's ableist because it doesn't have a pause button. I personally think that although yes, video games are created so that everybody can enjoy, I think that there are games for people, right? And you can kind of work around depending on what game you should know in your according to your situation what games you can and cannot play. Um and I believe that you that it's kind of inherently entitled of you to expect games to do things for yourself, right? I think that's inherently entitled. Now, do I think that it's bad and that it shouldn't add a pause button? Not really. They could add a pause button to um Dark Souls, and that's fine. I'm not a purist in the sense that I think that Dark Souls should never have a pause button or anything like that. I don't really care if it does. They definitely could, but the reality is that they've done a lot of things already and with Elden Ring to make it more accessible for people to actually be able to play it and to enjoy their game. And one should design their game so to try to maximize what everybody can enjoy. And I think, but at the same time, I believe that that should come out of the developer, not the player kind of demanding and being feeling entitled that they need to be catered for themselves, right? If the developer decides that as a design choice they're not going to put a pause button, it's not ableist to do that. You can still play a game. I think it would be ableist if you're unable to play a game, right? Like if there is a certain feature that makes it so that you cannot play the game, that I understand. And you should make it cater so that you can play the game. Now, stating that a game should be stating that a game should match you in your case and it should always cater to your needs is I think just entitlement. I think that uh, um
the problem is demanding or villainizing a game just because it doesn't cater to you. I think that's the problem here. And calling it an ableist is basically villainizing Dark Souls, saying that it doesn't. Using the term ableist basically states that you don't care about people with disabilities, or your design is actively against people with disabilities. And I think that that's a very accusatory statement, villainizing statement that I don't think should be, that I don't think is warranted. Basically, I think that games should once again allow people to play their. I think like games should be made so that everybody can enjoy, but if they have things where it's not that you can't play the game, it's that it would be a lot easier for you if they change this XYZ thing. I think that's kind of entitled, right? One of the things he mentions, and I'll hit play here so you can kind of hear what he says. Okay, so regarding of the disability, he mentions there that that you have a baby, right? That you have to stop playing the game in order to cater to your baby. Or in another example that he says later on in this video is, oh, if you ordered food or something, or somebody knocks on your door, right? And you gotta go answer the door. You're gonna have to stop what you're doing to answer the door. And what he's stating is that not having a pause button is ableist against allowing yourself the ability to be able to stop playing the game and doing whatever it is you gotta do. I believe that if you are playing a game like Dark Souls, you gotta kind of play around with the fact that you're dedicating your time to that. And for example, let's say with a baby, I understand that raising a baby is not something, it's very unpredictable, and you can't really dictate when something is gonna happen. In which case, I would tell you, don't play Dark Souls games at that moment. You can play it later on, but don't play it at that moment because you have other priorities. Play another game that gives you the ability to be able to play with, and be able to stop and play with your kid. Like, I don't think that I don't believe in the entitlement that every game should cater to you and your needs. I think that it should be, a game should be according to the design of the individual. I think that of the developers, they should, try to cater to everybody so everybody can play the game. But if you can play the game and you just have some personal situations that makes it harder for you to, or to plan around the game, right? Let's just say it like that. To plan around the game, I understand it's difficult, but is that like you just deal with the consequences? It's a game, right? You deal with the consequences. You play. You lost the progress in that moment with the game. The game is not like you can't. The game doesn't just stop and then you can never play it again, right? Like you can continue, worry you off. Sure, you lost progress, and I understand that that's annoying, frustrating, right? But it's still something that you can still enjoy. You can still play the game. It's not impeding you. There's no impediment there from you being able to actually play the game. It just makes it a little bit more difficult and tenuous for your circumstance. But once again, I think that that's fine. And if developers later on want to add a pause button, right? Because of this, that's fine. That's your choice, and they can definitely do that. But I think that you innately demanding it is very entitled of you, and it's also not taking into account how difficult sometimes these things is. They mentioned that one of the reasons that they don't have a pause button in the first place is because of the multiplayer capabilities that Elden Ring has. Not Elden Ring, like Dark Souls games in general have. And I just want to state that, yes, you can disable that multiplayer capability and still play the game. And what they're complaining is that you can disable that, but you can't add a pause button. And disabling a multiplayer capability, which just blocks people from being able to invade you, is completely different than you enabling or disabling a game-altering feature, right? Because you pausing the game changes like a lot of things of how the game is developed. They have to design the game with a pause button in mind. So it's not as simple as just like, there you go, you got a pause button. All right. But with that said, they could add it in the future. On future Dark Souls games, they could, if they wanted to, they probably could add it. I just don't think that people should demand that of them. So I saw this video and I just wanted to kind of talk around that and kind of talk about that because I wanted to throw my 2 cents into the ring. So that's exactly why I mentioned it. But with that said, I think, let me check something. With that said, I believe we're just gonna end the stream there. We did the stream, we played a little bit. I showed you that video that I wanted to show you, and we did the gaming news. So I think that's a pretty successful and an eventful day. So I'm gonna call the stream end here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if I have anybody currently watching for me to be able to raid somebody. I don't even know if I have somebody I can raid. Let me check real quick. My friends. No, there's nobody live right now for me to raid. So we're just gonna end it here. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you in the next one, and I'll see you on the next stream. Happy holidays, and if I don't see you before then, happy new year. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.